Hello everyone, I'm Miss Karen from the Dorsch branch of the Monroe County Library System. And this week on Reading Road Trip, we're heading to Alabama. But before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that March is Reading Month and we're doing Share Your Rainbow. So during this month and my videos, I'll have a hidden rainbow somewhere within the video, and you just keep an eye out for it, and then you need to write down the state and where you found the rainbow. And then at the end of the month, submit it to me, or you can drop it off to the Dorsch branch with your name and a phone number. And we'll place your name in a drawing, and one of the prizes will be a book, Share Your Rainbow. So keep an eye for the rainbow. So again, Alabama is our state. It's located here on the map. Montgomery is the capital. It became the 26th state on December 14th, 1819. And some famous people from Alabama was Rosa Parks, who was an activist in the civil rights movement. And if you remember, she actually refused to give up her seat to a white passenger, and then having a movement of equality between whites and blacks. Helen Keller, who was an advocate for those with disabilities, and she was actually deaf and blind, but she was not born that way. A little after a year old, she got sick. They believe it was from scarlet fever, and she lost her sight and her hearing. And then she struggled to maintain it, to get back to normal, to be able to function. And so once she did that, and she was an advocate for those others that have a disability, and she actually was the first person who was deaf and blind to actually get a college degree. And then Harper Lee, who was a writer, and she wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. Actually, she only had 2 books published, To Kill a Mockingbird, and then her other one later on was called Go Set a Watchman, but actually that book was actually like a rough draft for To Kill a Mockingbird. So that's some information. Now the nickname for Alabama is called the Yellow Hammer, and why they got that is because the state bird is a northern finch. It's a member of the woodpecker family, and so woodpecker being a hammer, and the bird actually has yellow underneath the tail and under the wings, therefore a yellow hammer, therefore the nickname. So like I always tell you, I always like to find some unusual things about the state. Nothing, just boring, but I wanted to find something unusual. So this time I have 2 events that I wanted to share with you that I found kind of amazing that happened in Alabama. The first one was in 1954. A woman was in her home. She was sitting on the couch, and a meteorite the size of a softball came barreling down, went through the ceiling, and hit her. And she survived, and she was actually, was confirmed, she was the first person in history to have been hit by a meteorite. So that was pretty amazing, and she survived. The other event happened in 1989. And what it was is that in this town there was approximately 50 residents who noticed this. They thought they saw a UFO, and so there was an object, and let me see, does it say? It was outlined in green. It was a big bright light in the middle, and it just moved silently, and it kind of like stopped and just like stayed there for a while, and then just took off. And so there was like over 50 people that called it in. They all saw the same thing at the same time, but they have no explanation of what it was. So those are 2 unusual events that happened in Alabama. So here are some places that you might like to see. Orr Park is actually just a normal park, but what happened is that a storm went through and destroyed all these trees, and instead of just tearing them down and cutting them up, a gentleman went through and actually did carvings in these trees. And so it started this thing that he has. So I think there's over like 30 trees that he's carved, and have like faces or whimsical creatures or anything throughout this park. So if you ever get to Orr Park in Alabama, you'll be able to see all these carvings that he did. Another one in Magnolia Springs. It's the only area they have a mail route that is done by boat. I wanted to throw that in because my husband is a mailman, so I just wanted to share that with you. And it had started over 100 years ago because the roads were so muddy and people couldn't get through, the postman could get through to that area, so they started to deliver by boat, and it's continued to do that since. So that's still the only one. So this one, I found it was kind of neat. It said it was between a sinkhole and a cave. And what it is, it's called the Neversink Pit. And it's 40 feet wide on the top, and it drops down 162 feet, and then the floor of it is double the size of the opening. But as you go down, it's got these beautiful, as you go down, you see all these different, they said down the view It's like during the winter, all these sheets of ice are really beautiful, and then during the spring, there's a waterfall, and so you see all these waterfalls. And then during the summer, all these ferns are growing, and they said it's just really beautiful. And it's actually the most photographed sinkhole in the world. I don't think I would want to go in there, but maybe it's something you'd like to see. I don't know. The other thing I thought was kind of unusual is actually in Alabama is the Unclaimed Baggage Center. That was hard for me to say. So if you lose your baggage and you don't know where it's at, it's in Alabama. So after they give you a period of time to try to locate your luggage with the right person, and you don't get it, they, of course, the airlines reimburse you for the luggage, and then the luggage is sent to Alabama, where it's actually a place. It's actually, they go through the luggage, and if they can recycle it, or they donate it, or throw it away, or they sell it. And so they take every item, and they if it needs to be washed or whatever, and then they resell it. And so they said the store is actually a full city block long, and they have around 7,000 items added a day. That's a lot of lost luggage. And I was reading on some of the things that they had found in the luggage, and one of them was a snake, a live snake that was in the luggage. So don't think I want that job either. So, but those are some unusual things that I've read about for Alabama. So again, if you read about Alabama and find anything different, please share with me, and share with your pictures of any of your crafts that you do. I'd love to see those. So again, on Monday, we will have a Take a Mid bag pertaining to Alabama at the Dorsch branch. Just call them to request your bag. And remember to keep an eye out for the rainbow, and just write it down and submit it to me at the end of the month. So until then, have a wonderful day. Be well and be kind. See you next week. Bye.